Hello everybody, IHFace back with another tutorial video, and this time I'm going to be covering IVs, what they are, how they affect you, and the best way to go about improving them. So basically this video is just very long. I don't know how long it'll be yet, but a very detailed explanation on how to go from IVs like this to IVs like this. Now, what an IV is that it's essentially another stat modifier for your Pokemon. It stands for an individual value. And like the IVs, like I just said, they're stat modifiers, so the higher they are, the better your stats will be. Let's say, for instance, I should have prepped this beforehand, but I'm bad. Alright, we're back. And here I have two Typhlosions. They're both EV trained and have the proper natures. But one has 0 IVs and everything, and the other has 31 and everything. And as you can see, in this column right here, stats are significantly higher than the one without the 31 IVs. So as you can see, the better your IVs, the better your stats will be. Anyway, going back to Brick Bronze, most people who participate in PvP generally go for Pokemon with higher IVs, as it'll be better stats, which means they'll perform better in battle. Now, for the bulk of this video, I'm going to be explaining to you the process you're going to be going through to get better IVs. So, I'm going to fly to Laguna Lake, because this is where most of the action will take place. Oh, and this tutorial, it could be applied to anything related to Pokemon, but for Brick Bronze specifically, you're probably going to want this what the advanced stat viewer will allow you to do is see the numbers in the actual numerical values of these two stats right here, instead of just this chart, because this chart won't help you at all when it comes to IVs. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, here in Laguna Lake is the daycare center. This is where a majority of the action will be taking place. So basically, if you're starting with something like this, you're going to want to breed it with... if you're wanting to breed a specific Pokemon with good IVs, you're going to want the female version of it. And if you don't have a female version of it, breed it with a Ditto until you get a female version of it. Then you take this female version, and I don't have a male one prepped for your Pokemon. The two parents, aka these two right here, I'll put the other one away real quick. The two parents, male and female, without any items, will pass down a combination of 3 of their IVs. So this female could pass down its health, and then the male will pass down its speed and special attack, for just as an example. And then the rest of the stats will be random. A random number selected between 0 and 31. Now, normally this seems ineffective, so what you can do to make this more effective is get this item called the Destiny Knot. With the Destiny Knot, the number of IVs increases from 3 to 5. Now, it doesn't matter what Pokemon's holding the Destiny Knot. It will take a random 5 IVs from both parents, a combination of both, so it could take 2 from this one and 3 from the other one. So, yeah, the holder of the Destiny Knot doesn't really matter. As long as you hold the Destiny Knot, 5 IVs pass down. The reason you want that is 5 is more than 3. I would rather have a better chance to get 5 of these 31s than just 3 of them. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have any Pokemon with good IVs to start with, here's what I recommend. Alright. You're going to want to hunt male Riolus. They're found on Route 8, and they always come with 3 31s. If you're just starting out, this is a great way to start out with IV breeding. I would just hunt Riolus, male ones, until you get 31s in every stack. Not with one Riolu, but with a combination of them. This way you can begin breeding them with your Pokemon. Now the reason I say Riolu... Oh, never mind. You want Riolu, but you have to evolve it, because Riolu on its own can't breed. It's in an A group where it cannot breed. The reason I say Riolu specifically is because it's the only Pokemon in Brick Bronze right now that you can find in the wild with 3 31s guaranteed, that is of the Field Egg group when it evolves into Lucario. And this is where I begin talking about egg groups. Egg groups, in a sense, help. These are the different kinds of Pokemon that can breed with each other. So you can breed a Rattata with a Pikachu, or a Rattata with an Arbok, because they are both in the same egg group, the Field Egg group. The reason you want a Lucario, and the reason you want the Field Egg group, is because it's the biggest. So this is a list of every Pokemon in the Field Egg group. It's very long. It connects with the most amount of different egg groups. Basically, if you look up these egg groups, you will be able to find a way to take a Field Egg group Pokemon and loop it around to any other egg group. Now, the different egg groups in Pokemon are Bug, Ditto, which only contains Ditto. Ditto can only... I'll go over Ditto in a minute. Dragon, Fairy, Field, which is what we're aiming for right now. Flying, Grass, Human-like, Amorphous, my bad. Mineral, Monster, Water 1, 2, and 3, and then Pokemon that can't breed. Now, Pokemon that can't breed generally include baby Pokemon, legendary Pokemon, and mythical Pokemon. But there are also a couple others that can't breed, like Nidorina and Nidoqueen. Now, to go on to the Ditto section, Ditto can breed with anything that is in a breedable egg group. So it can breed with any Pokemon in the game. So that's why it's useful for getting, like, if you have a male starter, you could breed that with a Ditto until you come out with a female starter. And that will eventually make it easier for you to breed. Now, when you're breeding, you're going to get one of 4 messages when you are in the process of doing so. And they are as follows. The Pokemon seem to get along very well. The Pokemon seem to get along. The Pokemon don't seem to like each other very much. And the Pokemon would rather play with the others more than with each other. So what these all mean, starting with the first one, is that the Pokemon have an 80% chance every egg cycle, which is 128 steps in the real games, or just, I don't know the exact time traveling, but you just go in a circle for a bit, and every egg cycle, there's an 80% chance to yield an egg. And what causes this is breeding two Pokemon together in the same egg group with the same original trainer. So, for example, this Typhlosion with the original trainer of Arbor, with this Typhlosion with my OT, same species, different OTs, which yields an 80% chance. Next, we have two seem to get along. What that is two Pokemon of the same egg group. Or, okay, let me try that again. I'm sorry. They have a 50% chance every egg cycle to yield an egg, and what causes that is one of two things. Either A, two Pokemon of the same egg group with the same original trainer. So in this case, no, same species. My bad. I'm dumb, I guess. Same species and same original trainer. So two Cyndaquils with my original trainer, of course, different genders, not the same gender, or two different species in the same A group, but with different OTs. Different species, different OTs equals this message you're seeing, or the same species, same OT in the same A group, of course, leads to this message as well. Anyway, the next one we're going to see is the two don't really seem to like each other very much. People here normally think that Pokemon can't breed anymore, but they can. It's just a fairly low chance. And what that is, it's a 20% chance. It's when two Pokemon of different species and the same original trainer. So this Cyndaquil, assuming it's female, let's just assume it's female. This Typhlosion, they're different species because they're different Pokedex numbers, but they're under the same original trainer. And that will yield a 20% chance every egg cycle to give an egg. Now the final message is the two prefer to play with each other more than the two prefer to play with other Pokemon more than each other. This is the message you get when two Pokemon can't breed. It's either A, one of the Pokemon is in an A group that can't breed, or two, they're in two entirely different A groups, or three, they're the same gender. So for instance, this Reuniclus can't breed with this Typhlosion because they're in different A groups. Typhlosion's in field, Reuniclus is in Amorphous. And this type, let's see here, what's another Amorphous Pokemon? Trevin, is it female? No. I should have had one prepped, but I didn't, because I'm bad. Anyway, if they're the same gender, they won't breed it as well, so done with those. Now that you have the 4 messages, now you can breed. So of course, like I said earlier, Destiny Knot, Everstone, the Pokemon with the good nature, aka this one, and Destiny Knot the other one, so that you can get better IVs, or more IVs. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, okay, so I have my Riolu. Okay, I have my Riolu, it's evolved, and I want I want to breed a Squirtle. Not a Cyndaquil, but perhaps a Squirtle instead. I have the females. Well, that's not a female, but let's assume it is. I have the Squirtle, but Lucario can't breed with it. Well, then that's where you take advantage of egg groups. So now we're in the water 1 egg group, which is the one Squirtle is in. And so you're going to scroll down through this list and look for a Pokemon that is also connected to the field egg group. So in this case, Psyduck. So what you're going to do is get a female Psyduck and breed it with your Lucarios with the good IVs until they match the IVs you want on the Squirtle. And hopefully, and make sure you get a male variant of the Psyduck with the good IVs. Then you take your female Squirtle with the male Psyduck you just bred with the good IVs, and then you could breed those together until they have good IVs. Now, it seems like a lengthy process at first, but and it is. But once you start getting more and more egg groups with good IVs, you're going to be able to just breed them like that, because now you have the egg groups with the IVs you want. Like this Woobat, I bred so I could with it. I bred a Darumaka with this because it's also in the field egg group. I did it so I could breed this Crobat right here, so we can have the good IVs as well. So yeah, that's basically all there really is to IV breeding. Now, there's also times where you're also this move hidden power I'll cover in another video, but essentially it's just more complicated IV breeding where you just get 30s instead of 31s. I'll explain that all in another video. Now, another thing you can do with breeding, let's say you're trying to get a female Squirtle in this instance. Let's put the Riolu back. There's a box 2. But we want to get a female Squirtle with, well, this is a bad example, 31 special defense. Or a random 31, but we don't have any yet. What you can do is grab a Ditto, once I find it. Here's my Ditto. You can grab it. Normally you can hunt for Dittos and grab Dittos with good IVs, because that will help you breed these kinds of Pokemon even better. Especially Pokemon that are male only, that can't really breed with anything else. It's just really easy to breed those good IVs with the Ditto. Anyway, so this Ditto has 31 special defense, but it doesn't really have any other good IVs. And we really want to drag that special defense over, so what we do is we go down to our power items, which are also located in the arcade, for 1,500 tickets each, and you put the power band on it because it gives special defense. What these do in terms of breeding is that they guarantee that this holder's IV that is tailored to whatever it says in the item's description is going to guarantee that IV from the parent holding it to pass down to the offspring. So this Ditto holding the power band is always going to pass down this 31 special defense. It's very useful for trying to get specific IVs so you can really get into your breeding faster. But most of the time you're just going to be using the Destiny now. Anyway, I believe that I've covered everything. I don't think I missed anything, like I did with the EVs. Hang on. I'm going to go through it all in my head real quick. Yeah, I think I got it all. If I missed anything or if I left something still confusing, leave a comment. I'll try and get back to you on it and make it as easy to understand as possible. But if you found this, I hope you found this helpful. And well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.